But hey, I want to get into this. This is going to be fun. I think over under.
Okay.
And I think eventually I'll go and write these down
Mm-hmm.
and see how good you do at the end of the season. Heath Soder says over under 3 games. Carlson will cost the Packers
Over.
if he kicks all 17 games.
I said over because I'm being dumbass.
Man,
well,
I hope
4
it's
losses
not that much
because of him. Well, 4
Yeah.
losses because of his ass.
All right. So we're going to do a little over
Mhm.
under here. All right. I'll read it and then you can answer.
Okay.
Love over or under 34 passing touchdowns.
Over.
Over. He had 32 last season, which was second in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Dak had 36 to lead.
Yeah, I can see him hitting like between 36 and 40, honestly, with this offense and with his more familiarity with the offense, with his more chemistry with the weapons and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. Love over or under 7 games with 3 passing touchdowns.
I'm going to have to say over because I already said that he's going to have like probably 40 touchdowns. He's going to need over 7 to make that happen.
Because he had 6 last season, 5 in the regular season, 1 in the postseason. I count regular season and postseason all together.
Yeah, I got you.
So I think he'll hit over too.
Yeah,
especially because we're gonna make a deeper run in the playoffs, right? He's gonna get a chance to get some more of those.
Super Bowl.
So then, if you're throwing a lot of touchdowns, you got to throw for a lot of yards, right? Love over or under 4,300 passing yards.
I want to say under.
Under.
Yeah.
Because there's only 4 quarterbacks last season that threw over 4,300 yards.
Jordan hit like what 38? What was he at?
He was at I think 41 or almost 41 or just broke 4,000. I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
At least I thought he did.
I'm considering going over, but
let's see here.
I'll keep unders to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, because Jacobs might be a workhorse, and then I feel like we could get. He had 4,159 yards.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah.
So he would only need 150 more, but
I mean, it's doable because it could affect the first 7 games of the season. He was kind of like all over the place with his inconsistency, right? So if you extrapolate his back end of the season over a whole season, his numbers would be gaudy. So I'm not saying that, but I feel like with if the defense plays as well as we expect it to, he may have more short field opportunities.
Okay.
Right? To where he doesn't have to throw as far, throw as much. And I feel like if Josh Jacobs can play 17 games, which he has shown to do in the past by just playing through injuries and stuff, right? Yeah. Then you are going to have more emphasis on the running game the way it is compared to. And also think about this too. Jordan has played with some good running backs, right? But Josh Jacobs has never played with a quarterback like Jordan Love. Yeah. Kind of like my Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry argument. But they need to play with players like each other, right? At least in Jordan's case, he's had good running backs. He had Aaron Jones, so he knows how that is, right? But if he had Aaron Jones for 17 games, who knows what the Packers would look like last year.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the big issues last year was they couldn't get the run game going because offensive line was just all over the place and A.J. Dillon was having some difficulties,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so, speaking about that running game, Jacobs
over
or under 1,200 rushing yards.
Over for show.
Because he's only done it once.
Yeah,
over 1,200 yards, and it was like 1,600 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, right,
and that was with a shitty Raiders team too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then he broke 1,000 in 2019 and 2020, and then his other 21 and 23, he was over 800. So it feels like this is a 1,000-yard rusher for sure. But then, when you get over that 1,200 yards, you start thinking about being the leading rusher in the league.
I mean, 1,200 yards is like like maybe 80, 90 yards a game. I feel like he'll be hitting that easily every game. I feel like he is like Josh Jacobs is the pure definition of a 3-down back. Like just that's exactly what he is. He was that in Alabama. He was that when he was the Raiders, and he'll be like that with us. And like I said, he's going to be probably in the best offense he's been in since his time in Alabama.
I'm excited to see it, man. This and one more on this offense.
Okay.
Watson over or under 8 receiving touchdowns.
Ooh, man, that's a good one.
Because he had 7 his rookie year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had 5 last year. And these are years that he battled through injuries. So if Watson can stay out there, right, we feel like he worked with the trainers in the offseason. We feel like he's got those legs ready if he plays the whole season.
I can see it. I feel like he'll hit 8 touchdowns. Like I think he'll get like maybe 10 touchdowns. Well, things I'll say over. Yeah,
I think it's gonna be over 2. I think he's gonna end up playing more games, and
I think it's a contract year for him too, isn't it? Because he's a second-round pick. Isn't that a 4-year contract?
Well, this is year 3. This is year 3, though.
Right. So then he would be asking for an extension next year.
No, ask for extension.
Yeah. So I was thinking. Well, I know what you're saying, and I'm trying to say like how like these guys will try to get extended before their last year, right?
Yeah.
Like CD had like 1 or 2 years left on his deal. Ayuk had he's on the last year of his deal, right? They could franchise. You know what I'm saying? Like normally a receiver's go try to get paid before that. So I'm wondering to see what happens in this situation with him.
Okay. That's going to be exciting, man. This offense could be really electric.
Hell yeah.
But of course, then the defense is – I feel like I have faith in Jordan Love in this offense. This defense is a work is a work in progress. Here's a guy I think that can have a big season. Lucas Van Ness, over or under 8 sacks?
Over or under 8 sacks?
So last year, I think he just had like 3, right? He had 1.
I'll say under, but I'll say under because he'll hit 8 sacks is what I'm saying.
He'll hit 8. He's going to hit 8 sacks. Okay.
Yeah, so he won't go over.
He's going to push.
Yeah, he'll push, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because he had 4 sacks. Looking at his stat line last year.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah.
So he'd be doubling his output from last year, which is great. And then another guy, Rashawn Gary, over or under 9.5 sacks. 9.5 is his career high. He's never hit double digits. Can he stay healthy and hit double digits for the first time in his career?
He is my defensive player of the year consideration. So, yeah, he's going to go over 9.5 sacks. Yeah.
All right. I love it.
Hell yeah, man.
More aggressive defense, too. We're hoping to see more turnovers. Jair, over or under 3 interceptions?
Over.
Yeah,
I think he'll get like 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
I think it's just like if we get Ja of old, they're not going to test him like they were previously, right? I feel like you may see more receptions for like McKinney and for Stokes and for Valentine, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like Ja's going to be like, he's not going to get as many targets thrown his way because of the fact that he'll probably be playing shutdown anyway. So.
Yeah, because he had 5 in 2022. Yeah. He didn't have any last year, but mind you, he only played 7 games.
Right.
And then, so for myself, I think he's only going to end up with 2. I'm going under here, and it's what you were saying. They're not going to throw his direction. They're not going to test him. I feel like maybe someone will, and he'll get a pick, and then no one will throw his way for weeks.
Yes.
So because if he gets his hands on the ball and he stays on his feet, he's apt to make a play afterwards too.
Exactly. Easily.
Yeah. I just don't think I hate to say it, and it's nothing against Ja, but if they don't throw his way,
He doesn't get opportunities.
He doesn't
exactly.
get those opportunities.
Yep.
But I think he still gets 2, and I hope one of them is for a pick 6.
Hell yeah, man.
Because you hope Halfley can figure out a way to move these defensive backs around too, possibly to raise a little chaos.
Yep.
All right. Stick in the same category. McKinney, over or under 3 interceptions?
He, I think, is going to have more. I think he's going to have like a Nick Collins kind of like impact. There's always going to be only just one Nick Collins. Don't get me wrong now. But I definitely feel like the way he plays, and he's going to have the ability to do things that we haven't really seen a safety do in a long time since Nick Collins, I feel like, right? So, yeah I definitely think he's going to be in the right place and right time for a lot of interceptions.
Yeah, because McKinney had 5 in 2021, and then he had 3 last year.
Yeah.
So it's what he had last year, and I'm going over on this one too. I think he's going to kind of get to play that center fielder more, and he's going to get to pick his spots to really go out and get the ball. And,
right.
And I think McKinney's going to lead the team in picks this year. So I think he's going to have more than 3.
Oh yeah.
All right. Just a few left. Thanks for sticking with us here. And all right, talking about turnovers, defense force. I gotta just because of my my teacher thing here. Defense forces. All right, this sounded weird. Defense forces over or under 25 turnovers. Right, only 18 last year. I think 25 would have put them close to the top 10 last year.
Yeah, I think they go over on that. I think that could be asking a lot, but I do feel like this would be one of those times where the defense aggressiveness you're gonna hoping that they don't have any like broken plays or some guys getting out behind them. But I'm kind of hoping that the way Halfley's gonna be coming at folks, that you're gonna see more turnovers because of it. Yeah. I'm hoping at least. I mean, we saw that in the preseason. In the preseason, they were getting turnovers. They were playing vanilla defense. Yeah. So imagine what they're going to be able to do when Halfley's actually in his bag trying to make shit happen.
Yeah, I'm over this. I think this defense is, by the end of the year, maybe like in sacks and turnovers, are going to be in the top 10, but maybe yards given up. We're still kind of like getting frustrated with giving up yards, and so it's gonna be interesting. All right, couple more here. Packers score over or under 25 points per game. They've done this 3 times since 2015.
I'll go over just because I feel like they're gonna be a more efficient offense than they were last year, right? Another year under Lord Jordan's belt with his team. I think I'm hoping that the things, the trials and tribulations that we saw in the beginning of the season last year, that we don't see those this year in the beginning. There are going to be some hiccups, but I hope they're far in between.
Yeah. I'm going over as well on this one. I think I think the offense is really going to get rolling.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of points. And you pointed out too, right? The defense is going to give Jordan Love a short field to work with more times this season, and that's going to help us push those points per game up as well, taking advantage of those turnovers. All right, then the last one, all right, the big one, Packers, over or under 12 wins on the season. This is regular season over.
Regular season. So my prediction was 14 and 3?
Yeah.
Either 14 and 3 or 13 and 4. So my answer is going to be over.
Over. All right. And for myself, I'm pushing on this one because I think this is where we're gonna end up. I think the 3 losses, three losses I know for sure, or I feel like if I had to predict, they're gonna be. I think it's gonna be the Eagles. It's gonna be the Lions and Niners. It'll be in Detroit, the Lions game we lose, and then there's gonna be two WTF games this season too. We're why did we lose those?
Yeah. Florida always has one of those games too. You're so right.
Last year we had a handful of those, right?
Yeah.
I hope we reduce that just to a couple times this year where we're like, what the hell? I think the Eagles, Lions, and Niners game they're gonna be battles. They're gonna be instant classics. They're gonna be you're going to be pissed losing probably to those teams, but it's also going to be like, that was a good freaking game.
Yeah.